Hello everybody, I'm Brett Ratner. Welcome to the dangerroom.net, and we are here on the set of X-Men 3 in the war-torn streets, where there's going to be a lot of exciting things that you're going to see tonight. There's fog, there's explosions, there's rubble, there's X-Men. I cannot wait to give you guys a tour and introduce you to everybody, the actors, the crew, the sets. It's going to be very exciting, so stay tuned. This is what making a movie is about. Look who that is. Halle Berry and Hugh Jackman. Say hi to www.thedangerroom.net.
You kidding me?
Hey. Yeah,
really?
This is the first blog.
Woo!
The Danger Room.
Welcome to the Danger Room. Danger!
Everybody, this is Mike Vina, our mechanical effects coordinator. He is probably one of the best guys in the business, and he is set up for here tonight about how many? Over 100?
About 120, yeah.
120 explosions. So get ready for a big bang tonight. What is this called? It's a techno crane on a what?
Titan.
On a Titan. It's a techno on a Titan? That's ridiculous. And we have 12 of these. Can you believe? 12. That's just and that's the smallest one. But it is the biggest tripod I have ever used in a movie, ever. I just wanted to introduce dangerroom.net to the one and only Iceman.
That's right. How you doing, man?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm ready to kick some butt.
There's Rogue right there. Him. See? That's Anna Paquin. That's Rogue. Ellen Page is the new X-chick. She can walk through walls and phase. She can, if you touch her, you die. Here comes Wolverine. Yes, sir?
Yes, sir. It's like in school.
Okay, folks, let's have silence now. We're going hot on effects. Hot on effects. Camera to number 1, please. Turn over.
Let's roll.
Cameras.
Say goodbye to everyone at thedangerroom.net. It's the end. The end of the Danger Room.
End. It's not the end.
Well, right now it's the end. Until
It's the end of tonight.
Until you see the movie, then you're gonna see what it's really like in the Danger
And it's
Room.
still not the end. It's never the end.
It'll never
It
end.
never ends. It goes on and on and on and on and on and on.
This is Stan Lee, and welcome to the dangerroom.net.
More right?
Barely marked.
This is a historic day for us. It's the first day of shooting for Sir Ian McKellen. It's the first day of shooting for Stan Lee. And it's the 27th day for shooting for Patrick Stewart.
Today we have Chris Claremont and Stan Lee, who are the two of the biggest icons in the history of comic books.
So turn over, please. Stand.
Today I am a man watering the lawn. I think I'm listed as water hose man or something like that.
Mr. Lee is one of the great Americans. He's one of the great writers, one of the most influential people alive. And look how he's dressed.
They made me do it. I don't walk around this way all the time. I swear it's all your fault. I just think I created this guy.
Is that crazy?
I said, let there be a Magneto, and lo, and my favorite hero.
What year was that?
1962 or 3, somewhere around there. Now, Chris Claremont, who's here with us today, doing a cameo also, he created the Dark Phoenix series.
Dark Phoenix represents the ultimate temptation. She is absolute power, corrupted absolutely. It's not that Dark Phoenix is evil, because that's not what it's about. It's that she had suddenly, without warning, all this power.
Can I get in one?
Yeah, come on. You know, there's always a spoiler. Have you noticed it? Come on, right in front of me.
It's the craziest thing of me doing this.
Brian, tell him hello.
So I need you to do some second unit shots for me.
And action.
And it goes.
Cut! Good, let me look at playback.
I'm, I suppose, most notably responsible for defining Wolverine and Magneto. Among the characters I've created are Kitty Pryde, Rogue, Mystique.
The X-Men is probably one of the greatest series where the public will never grow tired of it because there are so many new characters that can keep being introduced in every episode, in every movie. Oh, I'm getting out of here. Thanks. Excelsior! Oh man, that was beautiful.
I've worked with Brett Ratner on all of his feature films. I think this is the 7th one we've done together. Because there were so many characters in this movie, the biggest challenge was keeping track of each character's development and not losing sight of all the other characters. There are 12 or 13 major characters in this movie. You've got the X-Men and then you got the Brotherhood, and we can spend a certain amount of time with X-Men, but then we have to see what Magneto's doing. And it was a juggling act all the way through. It was good that there were 3 editors because there were 3 units shooting sometimes. So we would all be kept busy cutting yesterday's scene and incorporating it into the whole. The scenes themselves were going through an evolution. For example, here's a scene. It takes place in the woods between Magneto and Jean. In the script originally, Magneto came up to Jean and said, "Jean, you can do anything here." And he gave her a rock. The day came to shoot the scene, and for some reason Brett didn't want to shoot it with a rock. So he called me on the phone and he said, "What should Magneto be holding? What should he give to Jean?" And I said, "I don't know, maybe because he's got the gun, he should give her the gun." And I don't know what happened, but the dailies came back, and here comes Magneto out of this encampment holding a tin cup. Brett didn't want to shoot it with a rock, I guess, because he wanted Magneto to be able to lift it with his magnetic powers. So Magneto comes up to Jean, gives her the tin cup and says, "You can do anything, anything you think of." And he makes this tin cup float in the air. And Jean, of course, melts the tin cup and it falls down to the ground. Anyway, let me stop this right there. The idea of the tin cup was sort of laughable to us, but it had already been shot. But we figured we could do better by just shooting an insert of Magneto holding the Kier gun. So what we had to do is digitally replace the tin cup with a gun. And now in the movie, he's holding a gun. See, really, he's holding a tin cup, you can see right over here. But we framed that out. So when we rolled it,
I thought to myself, why the Charles?
he lifts up a gun. By shooting just 2 shots, we completely changed what happened in the scene. The insert of the gun, the other was a reaction shot by Magneto here.
I can manipulate the metal in this, but you can do anything. Anything you can think of. Jean, enough. Enough!
Here we are, the X3 editors.
Hi.
3 editors, 3 X's.
What often happens in a big picture like this, especially when we're doing tweaks on the script constantly, and we have many units shooting, is that sometimes you get all the little pieces together and you suddenly realize, and you don't realize it until you put it together, that you may have to change something, that you may have to have a different emphasis. And in this scene, we have Logan in the woods, and Logan comes across some mutants who are armed mutants who are there to protect the lair, and he attacks them. And then when we saw this scene in context, with other scenes around it, we realized that it made Logan out to be just kind of a cold-blooded killer. Yeah.
We had to change that because Logan isn't just a murderer, and he doesn't go around slaughtering mutants for no good reason. So we had to give him a reason to slaughter a few mutants and salvage a little bit of that scene. But what we ended up doing was pretty much creating a whole new scene and shooting a whole new scene. We had to convince the producers in the studio that this needed to be done. It makes Logan look more heroic, and if he's on the defensive, it was better. So what we did was we got, first we had to think up a scene. So we here in the editing room thought up, we had to think, well, it would be cool if he should be attacked by a mutant, one of Magneto's Brotherhood.
We thought that Spike was a pretty good mutant. He basically grows spikes out of his arms, from his bones.
Out of his bones.
And they come out of his skin, and he uses them to throw at people.
A worthy adversary for Logan.
So we scripted this scene. We storyboarded the scene. We had storyboard artists do the boards. We cut it together as a sequence.
Basically, Logan's in the woods, and he senses something, but then Spike appears, you see the scene, and then starts throwing his spikes, and we go through that whole thing. Then there are reaction shots of other mutants who now appear to be hearing Spike throwing his spikes.
And those are from the original shoot, and they're the ones who originally were attacking them.
Right.
And so now it's like they're attacking them after Logan had been attacked first.
But Logan has to deal with the rest of the mutants who are ready to attack him. But the amazing thing is that if you look at the scene, I think that when you watch it, you will have no idea what parts were shot earlier and what parts were shot later, because in fact it all kind of becomes a seamless piece of film that really seems to build and really has a story progression. So it's pretty cool. And there's one other thing I remember about this scene that we didn't discover until we looked at the first cut of the movie. When we introduced Logan in the woods, initially we discovered that Logan was in his undershirt.
Right. He all of a sudden appears in this white tank top, and
when he had been wearing a full jacket when he zoomed off his motorcycle.
Right.
All of a sudden we cut to him in the woods, and he's without the jacket.
I mean, it was just too obvious. So what we decided to do was to open on a big, tight close-up of him so that you could see him sniffing his eyes and nose, basically.
Then immediately have him get spiked, so you don't think about what he's wearing anymore. Did it work?
You be the judge.